We all know the value of compound interest. However, do we actually apply it to our life? What's up, friends? Welcome to The Beautiful Mess, where we talk about tools and tactics to improve your life. I'm your host, Paul Dittus, a creative director, and super excited to have you on this episode. First of all, I just want to share something I'm super excited about, and that just happened today. I don't know when you're listening to this episode, but this happened today. Basically, I hit 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel, which has been one of those things that I've been like hoping for, and it finally happened. However, I do think that if I applied this principle that we're going to be talking about today, the compound interest effect, I think I could have reached that sooner. I only published a total of, I think, 8 videos on that YouTube channel. And surprisingly, with just those 8 videos, I've managed to get 1,000 subscribers and over, I think, 275,000 views, which is amazing. Now I just need to make more content. That's the long and short of it. Yeah, YouTube is so super cool. I love that platform just because it's, you can post like so many different things, and it's like a free search engine for anyone looking for answers, and just a great community. There's a lot of little niches that you can get into. So have you ever thought about starting a YouTube channel? If so, this compound effect will help you get it done and see results that'll reap dividends. So I thought this would be a good thing to talk about because I'm currently reading one of my 40 books of the year is The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. I forget who recommended this book, but somehow it came onto my radar from somebody. And so far it's been a really good read. I mean, the principles, the author says it himself. It's not anything earth-shattering. It's very basic concepts. But when you apply them, you can really go a lot further in life. And so it's just kind of refreshing reading a book about the importance of sticking with something or tracking certain things and the effect that it'll have on your life. I mean, the long and short of it is like consistency leads to success. However, you have to go about it the right way. Otherwise, you're probably going to end up frustrated and disappointed. And so some of the things that I kind of took away from the book so far is that when you want to, get something done, it's not usually the best thing to try to push yourself to your max right away, because that'll often lead to burnout and frustration. However, there are better ways to go about these things, such as, if you're trying to save money for retirement, a great place to start is just setting aside, 1% of your take home. Like something so stupidly simple. I think that's what something like I started maybe with like $100 a month when I was first saving, like right out of college or so. And then I kind of like made it a game. I was like, I'm going to try to max out my Roth IRA or whatever. And so it's like you can reap the dividends, of time, especially if you're young. Now is the best time for you to start investing. And even if you're old, now is the best time for investing. But it's not just finances that you want to be investing. Obviously, finances, you can see the compounding effect firsthand as your money grows with time in the market. Hopefully, you never know these days. But it's this principle that it's if you put time and energy and you keep chiseling away, you're going to see results. And one of the imagery that he brought up was this man and this young lad, and they were walking through the forest, and the man said to the boy, pick up that, there was a plant growing, and he's like, pick up that plant that's, that young sapling. And so the boy did it, not too hard. Then there was another one a little bit larger. He's like, pick that one out. He pulls it out, no problem. Then he gets to one even bigger, starting to get a little bit harder. And so the boy was like, okay. And he pulls and pulls and pulls and pulls and pulls, and finally gets it out. And then finally the man points to this large oak tree and says, like, pull this one out. And the boy's just like, I can't do that. And that's like the habits that we form, for better or for worse. When they're first starting out, they're like that little sapling that you can pull out real easily. But then, once you let it kind of set in, and it's just like, grows to this massive tree, it's going to be a lot harder for you to just, rip out the roots, because the roots have, settled into the ground. So it's very much the same thing with your life. If you want to introduce new habits, that'll grow into a major tree, you have to nurture them. You have to put in the energy and the time. But it's, again, like, you don't want to, push yourself to the max the first day that you go after something. And this was one of the examples that he gave, was this, there was a lady, I don't know if it was in his office or just somebody that he met. And, I think somebody else in the office was running a marathon, and the lady remarked, like, I can never run a marathon. Like, that's just so far out there. Like, now that I have kids, like, it's going to be really difficult for me to run a marathon. I've gained weight. And so like, the Darren Hardy was like, I bet you can, you can run a marathon. You can do it. And, he kind of asked the why behind why she might want to run a marathon. And she's like, well, I'll be in better shape. It'll help me, in other areas of my life. And, so she found her motivation. She realized, like, I can lose some weight. I can become healthier, more fit. And so, what Darren recommended was to just start small. Like, I think he said, like, map out like a mile route, nothing too far. And I want you to just walk it for the first few times, just walk it. And so she actually did that, because it was something that was accomplishable. It was something that was tangible, and it wasn't like far out there. Again, this kind of goes back to the atomic habits idea. You want to make things, easy to start, easy to do. You want to make them visible. You want to make them rewardable. And, just being able to accomplish something like that, it's very, encouraging, instead of like setting up like, hey, I'm going to try to run 3 miles right off the bat. You're going to die. I mean, you might not die, but you're going to, like, suffer quite a bit from it, because you're not in shape. You're not ready to do anything like that. Whereas if you start off small with just a simple walk, you're going to get a lot further. And, it's going to be a lot more encouraging to you than looking at 3 miles and be like, I can do this one time, and then I'm just going to burn out and, never do it again. And so she did it for a couple times, and then he encouraged her to run just for as long as she wanted to keep it up. But then, like, as soon as she got tired, she could stop. And what happened was, eventually she worked up the stamina to run the entire distance, where it wasn't a big deal. And then she slowly added on miles and miles, and then she could run a marathon. And as a result, other areas of her life improved. Her relationship with her husband, it was very much better. And other areas of her life, like her health, she lost weight from it. And it was just one thing, it was like a light switch once she realized she could do little steps towards running a marathon. And that's so encouraging for, people, because, we don't always feel like we can have the energy to go out and run a marathon tomorrow. But if that's something that you're interested in, like, break it down, start small, maybe find someone like Darren that can like give you kind of like little checkpoints for you to work towards, that's accomplishable and meaningful to you. So yeah, I just definitely recommend this, like, starting small. Like, don't make it like a marathon at the beginning. Do those little steps, and then it has this compounding effect in your life, because all of a sudden what you couldn't do, a couple weeks ago becomes a lot closer to actually happening, because you're taking those small steps, looking to improve each time, but like giving yourself action items, so that you're not just standing still. You're working towards something actively, and you'll be encouraged by the progress that you're making. So I do these testimonial videos for this CrossFit gym. And one thing that one of the people said that, that allowed them to reach their goal, was that it was small changes over time. Like, it was, interesting to see like how they worded it. It was like, it wasn't anything quick. It was something that, like, I wanted to have a sustained results. I wanted like a long-term like effect. They didn't want just like a quick, take this pill and then you're going to be better. It's like, no, I want to have a sustained and lasting change in my life. And so they found that through CrossFit, and by learning and, taking things incrementally, to start seeing results. And they have seen meaningful results in their life because of it. There's so many different places where you can apply the compound effect in your life. Like, consider it. Think about those areas that if you change this one thing, it'll make a big difference. For example, let's say your finances are out of whack, and you just feel like you have zero control on your spending. One thing that Darren Hardy recommends in his book is to measure the thing that you want to change, and you'll see results, he says, because if you stick with it and start measuring it, all of a sudden reality is going to start kicking in. You're going to be like, oh, if I want to accomplish my goal of, let's say, saving up money for something that's meaningful, and understand the why behind what you're doing. Don't just mindlessly, make a change, because it's not going to be rooted. You're going to be like a little sapling that the boy's just going to pull out. So yeah, think about what it is you want to improve upon and start measuring it. So if you want to improve your finances, start measuring it. Start realizing where you're spending your money. So like, every time you make a purchase, jot it down in a little notebook. Like, get a little notebook or a big notebook, whatever you want to use, and start tracking that metric. Maybe you want to eat healthier, so you're going to record everything that you eat. And slowly but surely, you're going to look at it and be like, oh, I ate donuts like twice this week, and I had a bunch of chocolates. I mean, not to say that donuts and chocolates aren't good things, but in moderation, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish in life, like, let reality help you work towards that. So track where things are at, where things are headed, and see what you can do to make a meaningful change. So yeah, I would recommend, if you're interested in making a change in your life, check out the book, The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. And start tracking that one area in your life that you think you want to make a change in. And, you know, Brian Tracy, he's like a motivational speaker, talks about how if you like, you know, focus on just making things like even 0.5% better every single time you do something, you're going to like reap dividends in the end. And so this is something I heard Thomas Frank, he's a YouTuber, talk about his videos in a podcast episode that he was doing, that he just wanted to make his videos 1% better. And obviously he's done quite well. I think he's in the millions of subscribers on his YouTube channel. But that was just like something fascinating to hear from him, was like, you know, I wanted to make my videos 1% better. So maybe there's something that you do on a regular basis, and what can you do to make it just 1% better? You know, it doesn't have to be earth shattering, but like if you can find that one thing, like for example, with me, you know, I'm just thinking practically right now, when I go to edit videos, usually I hear all the times I say, like, all the filler words. I think I've gotten a lot better than I originally was, but it is hard. If you ever record something and you're not used to hearing yourself or not used to public speaking, maybe it's just me, I don't know. But you're likely to hear a lot of these filler words, and it's not going to sound as pristine as you had hoped, but it's all part of the learning process. And if I wasn't willing to start messy and, you know, put out a video that maybe wasn't the most perfect, I wouldn't have hit 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. I would never have, you know, seen the results that I've seen. And it's taught me a lot, just doing the process, putting in the effort. And that's my encouragement to you. If there's something that you're excited about, passionate about accomplishing, put in the effort. Put in the effort, and you're going to see fruit from that. Because where you put your time, energy, and focus, the further you'll go. And you know, this imagery that comes to mind is from this book Essentialism by Greg McKeown. They have two different circles. One circle has all these arrows coming out of the center, and then the other is a circle with like one line going out from it, and it goes a lot further. And the idea is that when you focus on something in life, you can go a lot further. Whereas if you're trying to go into 1,000 directions at the same time, you're going to end up, you know, just a couple, you know, feet or little ways away from the center. But if you put in the compounding effort, the compounding effect into play in your life, you're going to go a lot further. You're going to see a lot more results. You're going to be amazed by where you're going to be, and you're going to learn a lot on the way. Instead of like putting your attention in a bunch of different directions, you can kind of focus on the things that mean the most to you, and see those results. So encourage you, if there's something that you're passionate about, be consistent with it. Start messy. Just get in the game. You just got to jump in the game at some point, and why not today? So if you want to write a book, write down the first few sentences. Don't make it too hard. Like, don't try to run the marathon in one day, but like start small, and those little steps that you take you're going to go a long way. So that's my encouragement to you. And want to ask you, if you want to join the Messy fam, be sure to rate, review, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff, wherever you listen to podcasts or are on social media. We are at TBM Show or the Beautiful Mess podcast show. And then you can always write to me at Paul Dittus. Would love to hear from you and hear about what you're going to be compounding and what you're going to focus on. Love to hear how that goes. Well, till next time, my friends, stay messy.